I feel like Maresca, man. I've had the worst 2 days of my life.
I understand if it's Arsenal and all the cups are Arsenal cups. You're at Bournemouth. Nah. Ollie, up the wheel. I bring him back, man.
Your Liverpool manager, Arne Slot, does he stay? Does he go? Is he good enough? What's happening, Jermaine Pennant?
If Guéhi goes Man City, that's... I think Arne Slot needs to get sacked.
Hi, I'm Jermaine Jenas.
And I'm Jermaine Pennant.
And this is episode 21 of the Wildcards podcast. The podcast where we talk everything to do with fantasy football and, of course, a lot of the big topics that's going off in the Premier League today as well. So we'll start today's show with a little recap. There's been a lot of games, hasn't there? There's been a lot of like thick and fast getting your teams in. But the last run of games that we had in the last game week, Penn, you're currently on 46 points, but you've got 3 Arsenal players left to play. And that puts you 46th in the Wildcards League. Not bad. Respectable. Very respectable.
Respectable, right?
Very respectable, yeah. I'm currently sat on 50 points for this current game week. I've got 2 Arsenal players left to play. And that's about that. So we can...
Where are you in the league, JJ?
I thought we were gonna move on, mate. No.
I'm 46. You are
127.
How many players have we got? 160 or something?
Listen, I've got about 160 something players in our league, and I am 127th. This is
of our own league.
I feel like Maresca, man. I've had the worst 2 days of my life.
I bet you're getting sacked, honestly.
I don't know what's going on. Like my team's decent. Like it's a decent team.
Yeah,
but it's just the ball's just not landing. You know, I feel like Gaza semi-final against Germany, Euro 96. You know that one that just goes across the 6-yard box and he comes sliding in and he can't get his studs to it. That's what my whole season has felt like. Just agonizing.
Yeah, it's hard. Honestly, FPL, you can't read too much of it. You gotta. It's luck. There's a lot of luck going to it. Yeah, you can, because you can choose top players with a favourable fixture, and they'll give you 0 return, and you'll get some wild pick, like people picking Wolves players who are rock bottom and getting clean sheets, and it's just goals. It's just it's a lot of risks and luck in this.
Yeah, so, you know what, Penn? I hear you, man. I think you were talking about those Wolves players. The Wolves centre halves that got put in some guy's team, so silly things happening at the minute, and I feel like the polar opposite is happening to me. I just feel like I'm watching games and I'm thinking. Last night, for example, Cherky squaring the ball, like the one to Haaland, he's got to do better. I'm having a lot of these situations where I don't know, it's just not falling for me, man. It's just not falling for me. I've been close just to calling it a day, I'll be honest with you.
And you know what happens? It's like when you play football and you're at a team and you're fighting relegation and you just can't buy a win. You just can't get off that ride. Everything goes against you. The rubber, the green, the look, the decisions, hitting the post and not going in, going wide. It just goes into that cycle. And it's like when you're winning, you just can't stop winning. Yeah. And it's similar like this. And you get to start chasing it. You start chasing as in going for players. Yeah, probably are the right choice, but you don't want to make a mistake and you go for the safety players who are the top elite, thinking that they're going to, give you points when you got the luxury of me right now of going, can take a little risk on throwing in a Harry Wilson, Harvey Barnes, even though it was a great addition. So yeah, I feel your pain, but I like it. I like this pain.
Yeah, it's not good. I can't slide any further down this league because it's getting. Imagine starting your own fantasy football podcast. Everybody joins it, and you come last.
You come the whipping boy. Listen, wow. if you come like last, or maybe not last, because I bet there's some people in here not taking it serious, so probably not changed the team since game week 4. But if you come low down there, I'm sending you to Sunderland. I'm sending you in the depth of Sunderland with Jenas number 8 on the back.
Oh no! This can't work. No, it's going to turn. I think turn of the year. I think a few things need to go my way, definitely. But I'm not going to be finishing in this position come the end of the season.
No, I pray you don't, bro.
Well, one thing we do need to have a little chat about. You've played your wild card again early.
Yeah.
What was the thought process behind doing it so early?
Well, what's the point in saving it? Like, if in my view, it was I needed to make quite a few changes. I wanted to change a few players. My team wasn't. I didn't have a squad. I just had 11, and I had money in the bank. And to spend that wisely, you've got to at least make 4 or 5 changes. And what's the point in taking? I've got a team now that I can rely on for the rest of the season, unless 4 of them get injured.
Wow, massive statement. Statement.
Because I get a free transfer each week, so I can tweak and have a little play here and there. So I've got a strong team that I can rely on.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
So that was my thought process, rather than keeping the same old team that I had before. Getting the same old results and going, oh, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Just if I had these players. So I thought, let's do it right now. Now.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of FPL players maybe thinking something very similar, but I just think that obviously turn of the year, FA Cup starts, you get back into Europe, more international games. The games are coming thick and fast as we go like towards the end of the season and in like preparation for like World Cups and stuff like that. You've got players coming back from AFCON. I don't know. There's just a lot going on around these next couple of months. And on top of that, it's a transfer window. And didn't you have a situation where you had a player that went to a team that you already have 3 players of?
Yes, it was Chelsea. Do you know when Marc Guéhi or whatever his name was, and he was at Sunderland? And everybody kind of put him in because he was the cheapest striker, so just to put on the bench and whatnot. Yeah. But then he went back to Chelsea, and you have to get one of them out. And if you've already made a transfer, you're taking a -4, or you can't play.
That's what I'm talking about. So there's a couple of situations like that where I'm just thinking that I might just hold tight to at least February. Because I'm actually happy with my team. But it's just not delivering.
But you haven't got Semenyo, but Semenyo's now going to be a Man City player, and I've already got 3 players. If you had to choose out of Semenyo, Cherki, Foden, I think I'm going to be happy with the Semenyo. So,
yeah, I can't disagree with that. We'll have a chat about that in a bit, because I think it's a bit of a mad move personally. But no, I do. I think I don't think it's a smart move at all
for
Semenyo. Look, you're not going to turn down City and working with Pep Guardiola, right? I get it. But I just don't know if it was the best option for him when you've Doku's out there in that similar position. You've got Semenyo. You've got your Foden can play out there. You've got, I don't know. It just felt like a strange. Unless Doku's leaving and we do it's something.
Well, Semenyo more or less plays on the right, does he not? I thought he plays on the right-hand side. Seen on the left,
though, doesn't he?
He does play on both, but I think against Spurs, it was definitely on the right.
Yeah, he was.
Arsenal was on the right.
Maybe that's why it'd be beneficial, but I suppose you can play on both. But I don't know. There's something about it. I just think, even with Guéhi as well, which we'll get into, I just don't know how long Pep's going to be there.
If Guéhi goes Man City, and that's I think Arne Slot needs to get sacked.
Can we stop, please? Because let's save this chat for a little bit later on in the conversation. So on the players in and players out, top transferred out this week, we've had Phil Foden, one of the top transferred out.
Yes.
Interesting and hard. Ekitike, understandable with his injury. Vardiol, wow. Another one, I mean, he's big money, isn't he, Vardiol, to be fair? So
there's a lot of money. Cunha out, Manchester United. No. They're jokes. They're jokes. Cunha's out for Manchester United. Yeah. Boy, I don't know. Yeah. I thought Liverpool were in a bad place, but they're diabolical. They're diabolical.
They're not in a good spot. So the top transferred in, we've had My guy, Thiago, I've had him in from day one.
Ditto.
Day one, but I've had him in for a long time.
Me and you were the first.
Yeah, early doors, we spotted Thiago. Gabriel, obviously back from injury with a bang. Bruno Guimaraes, Rice. The Declan Rice situation. I mean, we love you, Dec, but there was some wizardry going on in terms of that return to starting was crazy. And then bagging 2 goals.
Yeah. I had him in a few games, at least 4 or 5 games, and he wasn't giving me those returns.
Yeah.
I said, right, you go into the bench and, I'm sorry, I'm going to sell you. I've had a good bid. I had a great bid for you. And then it turns in to prime Kevin De Bruyne. And just assisting, scoring, DEFCON. I'm like, why do you do that for me, sir?
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that I didn't like yesterday. I was going through our teams, right? Obviously, everyone, as soon as you get to the point in FPL where you can check other of your teammates in your league. We're at that stage again where everyone's captaining Haaland every week.
Mm.
And they've got to do something about it. They've got to do something about it next year. Or now. I don't know. But just repeating captain all the time, it's just a bit boring.
No, I totally agree. It's just the fact that because that Man City can score 4 or 5 at any given moment against any team when they're on.
Yeah, but this is the thing with Man City at the minute. It's annoying me. I mean, even when Man City who did they put to the sword recently? But then still Fulham.
Yeah,
Fulham. They bagged a load of goals.
it was
Fulham still
5-4.
nearly came back.
It was 5-4. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So City are. I just don't know if they're that team again. They're not that team. Everyone's still living in this mindset of City.
No,
they're not that team.
Defensively, I agree, but they've got the firepower to go forward and score goals and goals and goals. Yeah, they may not keep clean sheets like back in the day and being solid with Rodri and how sturdy they were, but they can score goals against anyone, and yeah, they will leak. And at the minute with Haaland, you just don't want to miss that boat and him score an hat-trick or him grab 2. But in saying that, I think it is now time to start looking at other players and captain them, especially when you see a tricky fixture.
Genuinely, right? Genuinely, I'm going through their fixtures right now. The last big result they had was against West Ham, right? They beat West Ham at home 3-0.
Yeah.
So, prior to that, obviously the Brighton game 1-1, Chelsea game 1-1, drew 0-0 with Sunderland. They beat Forest 2-1. Then was the West Ham one. They beat Brentford 2 and Palace 3, right? So it's only 3-0ers. They're not those 5s and 6s that you're talking about. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I know, but if Man City are scoring 3, you open an app and look at that score sheet, you're expecting Haaland to be having at least 2, because that seems where all their goals were coming from. Yes, they've got players in that can start chipping in and adding a bit more value. I think it was the Crystal Palace one. I think him going off at Palace, because that's a very, very tough place to go.
Yeah.
It's really tough. And to go there and get as many as he did, you're then thinking, okay, especially when they're at home or against a team like Sunderland, you're expecting to pop off. So when you're looking at easy fixtures, you don't want to miss away. But I think you got to start looking elsewhere now. I'm definitely going to start doing that.
I'm just not convinced by them anymore. Enough to be that concerned that, I'm going to miss out. The only reason, I'm basically sick and tired of picking my captain based on everybody else is going to pick him, so I have to cover it. I hate that. I like looking at a game and going, I think he's going to pop off. So even the other day, I was looking at Thiago at home and I was thinking, he's going to score. He's on fire right now. He's going to score. Captain him. And then everything in my brain's going, hang on a minute. Man City, Brighton at home. Brighton are okay. They can be good. They can be bad. They're having
sometimes they can be good. Sometimes they can be shit. Yeah.
I'm looking at it going, Haaland's going to probably... I've got to cover that because everyone's going to pick Haaland at home. But I've had enough of it now.
This is where you got to get some kahunas. Huh? Get some big kahunas Don't worry about everyone else is doing. Just think about, you know what? Thiago's on form.
Yeah.
Let's slip him in.
Listen, you've been down in the dumps with me before, bro. Like, you know it's like down here. You start making random decisions and you question yourself a lot.
No. I know exactly what it's like, taking -4s, 8s, just doing anything you can to try and get back up there. So
exactly.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
For the rest of the season, my friend. Now it's the back end of it.
What, you think you're just like gone clear like that?
I'm cooking on gas, bro. I'm like over 100 and something points ahead. I'm cooking on gas.
300?
No, 100 and something.
I was going to say, you're not 300.
No. Also, we've got to, as we do every week, give a big shout out to the winner of game week 21. Still got some players to play as well. We're sitting on 76 points. Jack Gallant. Team name expected to lose. All right, I like what you did there, sir.
This is a French guy. Must be.
Is it?
Well, expect to lose. Jack Gallant. It could be Jack Gallant.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say again. One, just in case you're French, Jack Gallant. I'm going to go Jack Gallant. Jack Gallant. Expected to lose. Well done, 76 points with still some players to play. His team, Timber, Gabriel, Bryce left to play. 3 players left to play. Keller in goal, my goalkeeper, Calvert-Lewin, Thiago, Haaland. Yeah, well done to you, sir. I think you've run away with it this week, so a mug is all yours.
Yeah, yes, indeed. As always, as well, people, thank you very much for listening to the podcast or watching the podcast, wherever it is that you are downloading it. It's our first year doing this. We really appreciate your support. We're going to get stronger and stronger with yourselves and with your support. We've got loads to come, but I'm going to keep this week's one nice and short and sharp and just say thank you very much. Keep following, and we'll see you very soon.
Yes, Spursy. Let's talk about Spurs. They are back. They are struggling. Another loss. Lost 3-2 to Bournemouth. Then Romario comes out, apologising. What is he the next manager to be sacked, Thomas Frank, or is he going to be? Is he the man to take them forward? What's going on with that club?
I'm just a bit like, how long do you keep blaming managers?
This is what
I don't know if there are certain football clubs that I don't think that, like, that belongs to that sentence. But there are certain football clubs that it does. And I look at Spurs and I just think, I don't know, like, you got to look at the players at some point. I've got to look at the players at some point. I'm watching them go into that game last night, right? I just know they're going to lose. Like, I know for a fact they're going to lose. And I don't know whether it's because of how they set up or whether it's the personnel they have in the team. But I look at Bournemouth as a better team right now. They're just a better team. So, which is a really scary thing to say, in my opinion, for as an ex-Spurs player, that Bournemouth seem to have overtaken them in a lot of aspects on the pitch, and maybe at managerial level as well. But I don't think Thomas Frank is going to last very long, personally. And I only say that because I watch a lot of players' mannerisms, like their body language when they're talking to him, or if he's talking to them. And a lot of the time, I was watching a Sunderland game the other day, and players are coming off the bench and just not even looking in his face when he's talking to them. And there's a clear, there's a clear breakdown in terms of maybe what he's asking the players to do, and the players just not agreeing with it. Is one side to it, and then the other side is just the results are just shocking. Home, away, say what you want. They're in a shocking position. And actually, Penn, I actually think you hit it on the head with regards to Thomas Frank. We've kind of skirted away from the Romero thing, which I'll get back to, but you kept saying to me, you were like, Jay, they finished 17th. And I was probably, I was still in this almost like a bit of a fairyland thought of, well, they've got good players. And then eventually you have to kind of go, well, maybe they haven't. Maybe they actually haven't got good players. And we're all just sat here thinking they are good players, but they're not, because they don't seem like they're going to be making a massive improvement on last year's league position.
Well, this is what the argument that we not our discussion or debate that we had on our last podcast, where I was saying, look, end of the day, I think they're a mid-table team at the moment because they've not given me or shown me that they're anything different. If I go off last season or the last couple of seasons, they've not. It's not like all of a sudden, they've just dropped off. They've been poor for seasons, and they've not strengthened in any shape, way, or form. The players they've brought in, they're okay. Kudus is a good player, but he's not world class. You've got Xavi Simons, and the players they've got, and what I'm seeing now is the same as what I've been seeing. So that's why I said, look, that's just where they are now, and I think they have to accept it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of Spurs fans are. I think they're just looking at it and just thinking, like, they're just a bit sick of like these toothless type performances. And I think even like, recently, for example, Romero's come out obviously after the game as a captain, and he's got something to say now about almost the powers that be at the football club and the fact that they are happy celebrating when they win things, but then when things aren't going great, they're quiet. Yeah. Which I don't know, it felt like a very strange thing to say, personally. I just thought it was a bit of a weird one. Because also I think it's clearly trying to get a message across. Anytime you go down that road as a player, you know what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? You know full well what you're doing. And I'm thinking, who is he trying to talk to here? Is this a message to say, well, we are not getting the players that we want? Is it his way of basically saying that? I think it's his way of going,
if you look at
want to improve, we're doing the best we can with what we got.
It is really, if you want to improve, if you want to start challenging, you've got to start going out there and getting the top talent. Yeah, I know. Like for example, just for argument's sake, Semenyo, they should have been in there straight away. I know we would have chosen maybe Liverpool, but just being there, just to be in the conversation. It's not like we're talking hundreds of millions of pounds. Marc Guéhi, I know they've got Van and Ramiro, but just be in the conversation.
I
just
agree.
be in there. It's like the top players, they're just like, oh, let's try and get a hidden gem, and hopefully it's going to turn out to be a world beater. Like it's going to be a Sonny. It doesn't work like that. You have to get ready, proven. Premier League, this Premier League players out here now that would fit lovely in this team.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cost over the yard. Just for me, it's baffling. A team like Tottenham, so big, got a lot of money, just don't do it right. It's it's good to see from my side, but as a fan, it must be so frustrating.
I actually think from a fan's perspective, it's because I think they feel like they've just been lied to all the time. So, stadium gets built. I think there's an understanding that the stadium needs to be paid for. And, for a while there was a moment where it was like, look, we need to kind of just tighten the belts because we've got to pay for this stadium. They've got good rates on it, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden, they're sacking Daniel Levy, and, Daniel Levy parts ways with the football club. And essentially, everybody's mindset from that point was, the purse strings are going to be loosened, and this is going to be them going for it. And then you have like this Semenyo situation when you're looking at a Tottenham team that is just dying
Creativity
for a left-sided forward with some pace and power and Premier League proven. Like, it's a shoo-in. Just give him the money, get the deal done. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? But they're just always.
If you're a football club and you want to make money, how do you make money? You make money by being successful, by being in the Champions League, by being in Europe, by winning things. So you need to invest to get there. You need to bring in the top talent to then be able to push you further up in the league to get more money to be in competitions. So, yeah,
the thing is with that, Penn, which is quite interesting, is Tottenham have made themselves a bigger football club and earned more money by not doing that. They've done it by being very smart from a marketing point of view and, being close every now and again. They've had some top class players over the years, like Modric and Bale, that they've been able to kind of feed off the back of in terms of a type of football club that it is. Then you got Harry Kane and Sonny and, like really global superstars that they've had and they've been in the Champions League and so on. But it's not, they've not won. So they've done it in a different way. So for them, they just might think that's the way to do it. Because it's a cheap way.
There's only a certain amount of time that you can keep that motto and that plan, especially if you haven't got those players who we just mentioned anymore. If you've got good players, not world class, not amazing, good players, you're not going to survive in the Premier League. You are not going to survive, and you're not going to, be climbing up the table and winning competitions and being in competitions. But anyway, enough of Spurs.
Well, not quite actually. We've got to quickly touch on his Thomas Frank Arsenal Cup situation. What is going on here? like what? What do you mean? What do you mean is drinking his coffee out of an Arsenal cup at Bournemouth? Like, whoever's gave it to him, bye-bye. You're done. Whoever's made the cup of tea or the coffee, yeah, you got to go, bro. Like, you set me up. I don't trust you. It's a full setup.
But I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused. It's not even at Arsenal. I understand if it's at Arsenal and all the cups are Arsenal cups. They're at Bournemouth. What's all, unless Arsenal left them there last week? Do you know what? I think Arsenal have left some load of cups, a load of cups in the changing rooms, and Thomas Franks saw these cups and goes, "Ooh, I fancy a brew because it's -3 out there. Let me get this cup here." And then he's not realised it says Arsenal on there. But come on, that's mental. I'm all for it. Great banter. I think it's great. Yes, Thomas Frank, I like it. I like it.
What do you like it? From his point of view, it's not funny. It's not. No, it's not. Unless he's trying to get out and get a payday, it's not funny from his point of view. From Arsenal's point of view, I can get why they find it funny.
Has anyone, as he came out and made a statement yet? Have we heard anything from it?
I think he just said, he don't know how it even happened.
Yeah.
A bit like what we were thinking originally in terms of I'm playing away at Bournemouth. You're not thinking, oh, this is an Arsenal Cup at any stage. But if someone's made me that cup of tea or that coffee, yeah, you got to go.
I think Arsenal have done it on purpose. Arsenal have done that on purpose.
I can't trust you. I don't care who you are. You got to go.
Yeah.
Because you just set me outside of an Arsenal Cup in my hand as the Tottenham manager. Wild. Absolutely wild.
Arsenal know that Spurs are coming to Bournemouth after them, and they've left a fresh pack of cups thinking, yeah, let's just leave these for our neighbours. I love it. Great banner. School degree.
On the Arsenal stuff, it's done now, eh?
Yeah, we can say that. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, I think it's done now. I just can't see anyone catching them.
I thought City were going to go on a little run.
Yeah, but
the Enzo goal just buried their momentum completely.
Yeah, I think that's the only team who is looking at maybe drawing Arsenal back in now. But when they beat Liverpool tonight,
wow,
they're just gonna jump clear even further. So
you got no hope for your team tonight at all?
Oh, absolutely none.
Really?
Absolutely none.
Wow.
One, we don't keep clean sheets. And we're playing against probably the second or the most the team has scored the most goals. So put 2 and 2 together, you're not even getting 4, you're getting 8.
It was wild looking at your team the other day against Fulham, man. I was looking at it going, geez, what is... All of a sudden, even the names on the paper just didn't seem like... You know what I mean? It's a reminder that Liverpool have been set for years.
Yeah.
With especially that Trent, Virgil, that back four, Canate and Robertson and Alisson, it's just been there forever. And even that was, Bradley's a top player and Kirkes is going to be good. But then on the right wing, you had Frimpong. It was just all weird. I was like, wow, this team doesn't look anywhere near as strong as It has done in the past, and that's obviously, going into tonight's game. If you're Arsenal, you'd be licking your lips tonight. They'll be like, this is a wounded beast that we can put to bed and out of any conversation to do with the title race tonight.
So obviously, January transfer window is open. We've not really seen too much activity, but a done deal, more or less, is Antoine Semenyo and even possibly Marc Guéhi. What did you think? Well, look, Semenyo, great addition. Premier League proven, goals, assists, done that for Bournemouth. And if you're in a team that's going to be creating more and have more the possession, then it's only a good thing for Man City.
Yeah, I think one of the things that when I've looked at City and been trying to understand like the fall off, like you have your obvious ones, which are like Rodri missing for a period of time, two midfielders playing at fullback. They're quite obvious ones. But then if you do go kind of up the pitch, a lot has been placed on Erling Haaland's shoulders for a couple of seasons now, and from a personal point of view of watching Manchester City, what I used to love about watching City was how much they just got to the byline. Whether it was Raheem Sterling back in the day or Mahrez or De Bruyne on an overlap, they used to get to the byline all the time. And I don't know, like over the last few years, they've just been buying these players. Like when I look at Semenyo, skillful, but I just feel like a strong, quick fullback will just shut him down. Like I don't see him causing them any problems. Whereas Semenyo, he adds a lot.
He adds
a lot.
Do you know what he adds? He adds the modern day forward, modern day winger, with a splash of old school.
Yeah.
Get down the byline. I will get to the byline. If I can't come in, I'm going to that byline. I'm getting a crossing. If I can come inside on my stronger foot, I'm going to do that. So you don't really know what you're doing with him. So I think he's any team to have him would be like, better in so many ways. But Marc Guéhi, do you think he should go to City?
No.
Do you think he will go to City? Do you think City will come in for him?
I've got a couple of, I don't know, there's a few things in my mind here. Like, just how far did the conversation, like Liverpool had him in the door. Like his heart was set on going to Anfield at one point. Now, I've listened to a lot of Marc Guéhi's interviews, and I understand why he's so kind of like level-headed, and I know he's a real believer in kind of like what he's meant to be is meant to be. I am where I'm supposed to be, and maybe the Liverpool thing not happening was a sign to him to say like that wasn't supposed to happen. I've always said from day one, like if you're Marc Guéhi in a situation he's in, when I look at the landscape of European football, I want Real Madrid if I'm Marc Guéhi. I want Real Madrid because I see the opportunity there. I'm starting week in, week out there. I think, the Rudiger injuries and, Militao injuries, like there's loads of things going on there. I think where he can go in, add some stability. Come on. If you have the opportunity to go to Real Madrid, you go. So, going to City, yeah, amazing. Not a guaranteed title anymore. There was a point there when it was a guaranteed title. It's you're part of a rebuild again now. And then when that rebuild happens, you're just joining a club of 500 other centre-halves, at Man City that have won the league. Yeah, amazing. It's great. But if you have the opportunity to go and play for Real Madrid and add that to your CV, that's a whole different ball game. So that's what I'd be looking to do. What would you be thinking?
It's a tough one because, again, it's not as easy going abroad. It takes time to adapt, and you may not adapt. We've seen players go abroad and come here, and vice versa, and sometimes it don't work out. So it's a slight risk, but again, you're talking about a juggernaut of Real Madrid. Been saying that, so is Man City as well. They're always going to be challenging for the Premier League and Champions League, and with other editions will get better and better and better. So it's a tough one. You want to stay at home with your family as well as in the UK. It really is a tough one. What I'll do, I don't know. Like if you've got the options of Man City, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, you just got to have the question with them and just see where your heart goes. I think it's just
I thought he was
just-
going to say, see who pays the most money.
Well, that as well. I think that's going to come down to it. If you've got one that's paying you an absolute, a lot of dough, then that's going to come into question.
I personally think if he was going to Real Madrid, we'd know about it by now anyway.
Yeah.
A bit like we knew with Trent. Like when it gets to January,
they don't make it a secret. They will say,
a deal's already been done. A deal has already been done. So then when you're looking at whether City or Liverpool, I mean, as long as if I had a conversation with Pep Guardiola and I said, "Are you going to be around for the next 3 years?" and he said, "Yeah," then I'll be there all day long.
He's not going to be around for the next 3 years. I can assure you that. With
you
Pep.
can assure me.
Yeah, he's gone, mate. I think one season max. He's not sticking around any longer.
Well, that would be one of my things I'd have to be asking.
Yeah,
because I've came here to work with you. Like I ain't come here just to play for Man City. I've come to work for you.
Yeah,
what my mindset would be. So, yeah, we'll see what comes of that. But
well. Speaking of managers, there's been a lot of activity in the last week or so with Maresca getting a tic tac, then Ruben Amorim, Ofsky, even that Wilfred Nancy from Celtic lasted 8 games. Yeah,
I think it's going to be more as well. I think it's going to be more.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I think the Maresca one, that was kind of, for me, I think he's kind of played into that. He
wanted it.
He made a certain comments that, left a lot of questions. Was he talking about the players? Was he talking about the board? Saying this is the worst 48 hours of my life. That left a lot of question marks. And obviously, on the back of that one, a good result. And I think the board have probably said, yeah, it's time to go. In person, I think he's done well. I think he's made Chelsea a better place than where they were when he came in. That is my view. And then you've got Ruben Amorim. I don't know how he lasted this long. Because they were... Nah, as a manager, their last, say, 7 managers...
Chelsea. They're above Chelsea.
Yeah, I know, but that's their last 7... I don't know how. Their last 7 managers, he has the worst win ratio of 36%.
Yeah,
David Moyes.
I think the issue for Amorim in particular, because they're sat in 7th, right? But your last 3 games, Burnley drew, Leeds they drew with Wolves. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're 3 teams you're looking at as potential relegation teams, and so I sit here and I say, oh, well, they're sat in. They're sat in 7th, but they've clearly just had a very good run of fixtures. And essentially, the bad ones are coming and he's not been good enough. Look, he had to go. I think it took, potentially 3 to 6 months too long. Yeah. I don't know what you think, but I just thought that, look, we're in an industry now where I would prefer it to go back to the way it was, where managers had more time to implement what they want to implement, and that managers probably bought 60% of the players that come into the football club, because the club do have to protect themselves. But that's just not the case now. Managers, when you go into any job now, you need to hit the ground running, and you've got to be winning games. Within your first 3-4 games, as we saw with Ange Postecoglou, you need to be winning ASAP. And he had a good run at it. He had probably one of the best runs that you get to have at it. And they made a similar mistake with Ten Hag. I feel like I've done it again and wasted a load of money. I don't know where Man United go from here, personally. I really don't. They've brought in a load of players to suit a back 3 system as well, which I thought was stupid at the time. So I don't know where they go from here.
I don't, but the rumour has it that Ole Solskjær is a contender. Ole at the wheel, Ole at the wheel. Na 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 na. Ole at the wheel, I bring him back, man, bring him back. Yeah, my guy, Ole. Ole at the wheel, Ole at the wheel. Joke, please, but
no.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, look, I think Ole will do okay coming back, personally. Yeah. I think he'll do all right. I think he'll get a tune out of the players that he has there. So, and I think they'll be happier. Amorim was just too stubborn.
Yeah,
and the players just got annoyed with him in the end. So
They would be happier, but there's also rumours like, what are we doing? How are we even in the conversation of bringing Solskjaer back? Like
yeah,
the
because
fans
they've
are.
got no idea what they're doing. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
they're right.
yeah,
The fans
exactly.
are right. There's no
And
plan.
that's where we are. Should we finish off with my guy, Slot?
Oh, please. I'll tell you what, right?
Mm.
Can we just do this the other way around quickly? Because we've had what, 2 negative managerial chats there, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I want to chuck in one positive before we get into Slot.
Okay.
Keith Andrews. Brentford.
Give him his flowers.
5th.
Give him his flowers.
Because
Because
them to go down.
no. I did. I said they've lost. I said they've lost Norgard, they've lost Mbeumo, they've lost Wissa, and their manager. That is 4 key individuals to lose. And it's not like they're a team of strength and depth and massive players. You know, they were used. They're all their goals, more or less.
Yeah.
And for him to come in and do what the flowers, I'm going to give you a couple of rose petals, a couple of daffodils.
Keith Andrews, you got your flowers, bro. I respect it. Yeah, you got to get them, because all this negative chat was going to balance it out a little bit, and then now I'm just going to give you the floor, and you can talk to me about your Liverpool manager, Arne Slot. Does he stay? Does he go? Is he good enough? What's happening, Jermaine Pennant?
Look, this is obviously I watch them week in, week out, and they are not the same Liverpool now what Klopp left him. Yes, they've lost key players, but they've also got in some world-class players as well. Right. The way Liverpool used to play, I know he came in with his own ideas and said, listen, we're not going to be as chaotic. We're going to be more, calm, possession-based team. That is fine. But you can't lose some of the basic fundamentals that are Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that is, we are going to press you. We are going to close you down high up. We are going to make it very difficult for you. You're not going to have no time, no space, and you're not going to be able to get through us, especially at Anfield. You've seen teams now rock up going, oh my God, no one's around me. All the time in the world. Teams now do a low block, and Liverpool are struggling against that. They just can't seem to break it down. So as a manager, you go, right, let them press out, but let's press them. Let them come up, but let's press them. Let's win the ball when all their midfielders and all their strikers are pushed up the pitch and they start playing it around the back. Let's win the ball high up, so then there's no low block. Let's try and win it. Like you watch Arsenal, they are machines at it against Aston Villa. Every time Tielemans got that ball in his mid, Rice was up his back door. Rice was winning the ball. They scored a couple of goals from it. Liverpool don't do that anymore. Look. The be all and end all, the bottom line is that he is so scared because he's conceded so many goals. He is so scared of pressing and thinking, we're vulnerable. So he's like, you know what? Everyone get behind the ball, get in position. But that's not working as well. And it's taking a lot away from the DNA of Liverpool. For me, his style is not the Liverpool style. It's not the Liverpool way. It's not working. And genuinely, the results are now, it's like, oh yeah, we've drew at Fulham. Okay, 2-2. That's not Liverpool. We should be winning all these games. And I think the longer this continues, the results are bit part here, bit part there. As a Liverpool Football Club, the board will be like, nah, sorry, this is not good enough. We're champions. We didn't spend $500 million just to be, should have won that one. And if it continues, he won't be there end of the season.
Do you think, obviously we're filming this on the night of the game against Arsenal, right? At the Emirates. Is it going to take something drastic tonight for him to even have a chance of saving his job? And I mean that in terms of like a style of play change. Like you're saying they're not intense anymore. Maybe he's just got to go, you know what? This is what Liverpool Football Club is about, and it has been about, because I don't know. let's just say Jurgen Klopp and the influence of Jurgen Klopp has just created this monster that Liverpool are now this. Do you think he just has to kind of get on board and go, well, you know what, we're going to press up high, we're going to play on the halfway line, and we're going to win the ball up high? Like, just do something a bit drastic to save his job, or do you just think it's done?
No, it's got to change. I know he's going to probably talk about injuries, but he'll go into a game and he will play 3 different players right back. It will start with Conor Bradley, and then he may change it to Frimpong, and then he may put Frimpong right and put Szoboszlai there. What on earth? How do you go? How is that even possible? He doesn't know his team. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know the style. He doesn't know from coming. He doesn't know from going. He doesn't. And if he sits back against Arsenal and goes, right, hey guys, he's going to get a whooping. He's going to get a beating. For me, it's not worked. That relationship, that marriage, it just literally just not worked. And they have to part ways, split 50-50 and, move on.
Just say how you feel, Pen. Say how you feel, pal.
Yeah, I do, mate.
Huh? Well, that's it for Wildcards this week, man. I need to get my arse in gear when it comes to getting some points on the board in the next game week. But good luck tonight, Liverpool fan. See if you can get a result against the Gunners. I doubt it very much, but we'll see tonight, and we'll see you all next week.